All right, here we are on April 30th, 2011 at Dundas Square here in downtown Toronto. And there's a demonstration beside us with a bunch of gentlemen holding different flags, different signs. We're going to try and find out, what they're up to, what their thoughts are. So here we go. Go ahead, your first name?
Saeed.
Saeed. Thanks, Saeed. So you guys are here at Dundas Square. What are you protesting about so we all have a better idea?
Okay, basically we're protesting against the violence that's going on in Syria right now, because people are demanding freedom, they're demanding democracy, because it's a dictatorship, right? And right now there's a southern city in Syria called Dara, and it's being surrounded by Syrian troops, Syrian army, as well as security forces and whatnot. And people, there's shortage of food, shortage of water, shortage of medicine. The city is isolated completely, and we're just protesting here to stop the killing, stop the violence, and give the people what they want, give them their demands, their freedom, democracy, end the dictatorship.
How's the media coverage of that going here? What's the response like? Give us some things that we should know about the situation.
You mean the media here?
Yeah.
Well, the media here is not really covering it that well. They're not getting enough information. The reason why is because the Syrian government, they don't let people in, right? They don't let any outside media go in. And they just make up their own stories. Like, for example, they began with armed forces and then they moved on to CIA. You know, they're just saying it's all a conspiracy. They're just saying it's a conspiracy theory, right? And yeah, that's why there is not enough media inside. All the videos and the news is coming on the internet, on Facebook. And there's a page, it's called the Syrian Revolution. You can check it out. All the videos are there, all the news. There's also an English version, because that's the only source of getting the media, right? There's nobody inside. So yeah.
I feel you. Are you worried about Western influence on the region? There's been a big role the West has played there for decades. So what are your thoughts on them interfering in the revolutions?
Well, I mean, for the most part, I can speak for most Syrians. They don't want any military influence on Syria. They just want more pressure on the regime, right? Like, for example, freezing the assets of the people responsible for all the killings. But we, generally Syrian people, we don't want any military interference in Syria. Just want pressure on the government. And I think it's time for them not to step down, because they've killed enough people. There's about 700 people that are dead, not to mention the wounded. Not to mention that they can't even get any medicine, so a lot of them are dying, right? And yeah, that's about it for the Western influence. We don't really want any military interference.
So what should people here know about Syria? Just give us some thoughts. Just for Canadians out there who are interested, who see you here on the streets holding the signs, want to know what the cause is about, what would you have to say to them? What is the most important thing to know about the situation?
Well, basically, the whole situation started with people wanting freedoms, demands, democracy, human rights, of course. And with all the killing, all we want now is for the regime to step down and stop the killing and stop the violence.
How long is Assad? He's the dictator, right? How long has he been there?
He's been, well, his dad was there for 30 years. And then here's the thing. The Constitution of Syria in 2000, it states that the president should be 40, but his son was only 34. So they changed the constitution in 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes to change the constitution for him to be the president.
And he's been there for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the media? What's the role? We're independent journalists from Celsa Productions, and we're here in Toronto, and there are people trying to tell their stories. There's people holding up signs, handing out flyers, and so on and so forth. So what's the response been of Canadians? What do you hope to see? Positive, negative things? Give us an idea of how we're reacting to people who are trying to get something done here.
Well, I really don't think there's much reaction going on, simply because the people aren't getting the information they need to know. I mean, the Arabic channels are barely getting information on it, simply because you can't get any outside media inside. So all we're demanding is for people start investigating the situation, and there is really some horrifying videos on the internet. I mean, I can give you the videos later on. I'm sure if everybody saw those videos, they would go crazy. They would have to do something about this, right? So all we want is a little investigation and just a little sympathy, more pressure on the government, and that's it.
Fantastic. So you basically want people to see this information and then react to it, because they'll be driven, they'll be moved by what they see there, what's happening in Syria. Where can they find that? Any websites to shout out? Facebook group you mentioned, but please, for the record, for the people, where can they go to hear this stuff?
Just go YouTube.
YouTube, the Syrian. Okay, if you go to the Syrian Revolution 2011, there is an English page, and basically all the YouTube videos are there.
Syrian Rage, Syrian Revolution.
The English.
You know.
Yeah, the English one. You'll find it on the left side under likes.
Okay, under likes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. Your name again?
Saeed.
Saeed, VJ, nice to meet you. This is Daniel. This has been Silsa Productions' presentation on the Syrian Revolution taking place here in Toronto in its own way. Thank you.